Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome on back. It's been a long time. Coming at you with episode 7 of Gaming Nonsense. As always, Teddy Cossack with Mr. Avery Fair on the other side. My dear friend, how have you been?
Doing all right. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. It's been a while. I would say I haven't seen you in a while, but that's not true. We broke all the promises we said we would do about recording one together. We had some technology limitations. It just wasn't going to work out.
AKA my laptop blows.
Hey, I was trying to say it a little bit nicer, all right? So it's been a couple weeks. There's been a lot going on. Most importantly, what we're going to be talking about this episode, as you probably could have guessed, Destiny 2, the biggest game that's out right now, came out, it's been 2 weeks now, just about? A little bit over 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks since the game came out.
Yep.
So we've basically exclusively been playing that for the most part, other than you finished something on your Switch, which we'll talk about at one point in that time period as well. But other than that, we're going to focus on Destiny 2. So I think we'll jump into that first of all. And what I'd like to do is just overall impressions going into that, noting that you played Destiny 1, which we'll talk about a little bit too, and I never played Destiny 1. So 2 different perspectives coming into this a little bit. But, 2.5, 3 weeks in, just about how are you feeling about the game so far?
I mean, I'm really liking it. I'm liking it a lot more than when I first played Destiny 1, when that first came out. I really enjoy the story. The plot is a lot better. When you're playing it, you actually have a sort of sense of what you're doing matters, and you actually know what you're doing. I remember when I first played through the first campaign, I had no idea exactly what was going on for the most part, or what my actions, why they were so important. And so far I'm enjoying the early onset of Destiny 2.
Yeah, that's interesting because I read just a lot of posts and stuff, people kind of saying the same thing. I guess because I never played it, I didn't realize that the campaign or the story of Destiny 1 was so non-existent, I guess, is just the right word. Mm-hmm. Especially if I just think of the developer Bungie. They're, for the most part, they crushed the Halo stories, so it was just weird. It was just weird not playing the game and seeing people complain about that, because I thought the campaign was pretty good too, to be fair. Mm-hmm. At least the main story part of it. The only criticism I have, which I've seen some other people saying too, is Gaul maybe kind of bit the dust a little early there.
Yeah. And
a lot of people kind of being uncertain about who the big baddie is going to be going forward, at least as they make Destiny 3, I'm assuming, and onward. So other than that, I enjoyed the hell out of the campaign. We played probably 2/3 or 3/4 of it together. And then the last couple of missions we played together again. I just beat it the first time without you. But it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Plus the soundtrack was amazing.
Yeah, so that was a point I wanted to make. Yeah. The sound mixing and just composition was pretty unreal. In classic Bungie fashion. They had Marty O'Donnell did the Halo games. And he's moved on. He did Destiny 1 as well. I don't know. How's the sound in Destiny 1?
I honestly could not give you a good enough opinion on that, just because it's been so long, and I don't want to say either or.
No, that's fine. But it was really good. I remember when we played the campaign, there were, 3 or 4 times as we were playing, it was just like one of us would comment, that's fucking epic. Just the sound of it right now is adding so much to the story. So
yeah, right from the get-go, and plus after that opening mission that we already played through in the beta, but after all the shit happened at the tower, and when you were making your way to the first farm, that was some nice music right there from the get-go. And so it kind of just, like you said, made everything that much more intense, or that much more emotion with the work of the sound.
Yeah, no, that's totally true. That's awesome. And then, other just high-level thoughts before we jump into some of the other specifics of the gameplay?
I have my review up on coffeescorner.com, and just going through it, just a couple little things that compared from the first game to this one. In the first one, they try to do these things called the Grimoire cards, I believe that's how you say them, and they tried to add more background information to the game and had more filler information. The problem with those was that they were only accessible on online, like on a website.
Yeah, okay.
And so taking those out in this game and kind of just filling in just better plot points in the story then was a nice upgrade for them. And like you said regarding Dominus Gall, I mean, the thing is like some people may be criticized that he may have bit the dust too early, or why he died already. But I mean, from the first one, I mean, it was just kind of randomized. You had these different enemy factions, and then each of them had their generic leader, but then there was no one that was polarizing like Gall. So I guess we'll take it with a grain of salt with Gall being that one central baddie in the second one.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure that we will be introduced to other enemies throughout the expansion passes, just like the first one was. But it's just kind of a wait and see type thing. But other than that, I mean, the basis of the game, it's relatively the same in terms of, the character models, the leveling up, the type of weapons that you have, things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are looking at how the first Destiny took a whole new light when The Taken King came out, the expansion.
Yeah.
And granted, I of course stopped playing the game right before that came out, so I wasn't able to experience the turn of the tide for it. But from what I've read is that this game is more like what Destiny was when The Taken King came out, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I mean the only other super high level thing really comes to mind for me, again probably just because it's the first time I played a Destiny game, is just feels like as you're playing it like kind of a standard, typical what I would expect from Bungie in terms of an FPS on console. Like it just it feels good to play it. If it's hard to describe, but just the controls and the way that the gun interacts with different enemies and the way it feels good. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, the only other thing is, PC version, of course, isn't out quite yet, and I didn't get to play the beta on PC. I was going to try to, it just never happened. So that comes out October 24th. So what, about a month? Oh, exactly a month from when we're recording this. And I don't think, I know, you're not going to be playing the PC version, I would assume. Yeah.
My computer would blow up.
Yeah, okay. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to or not. Probably like 50-50, to be honest. Probably not, assuming most people I'm going to play with stay on console. So we'll see, but that'll be cool. I know a lot of people, the hardcore people that even played, aren't necessarily PC gamers and played Destiny 1 a shit ton on PlayStation, are excited to play it on PC. I think partially because of the frame rate, and then, just the mouse and keyboard piece of the shooter. So
yeah.
I mean, that's about it. Other than that, we have a couple other notes here, which one thing we're struggling with right now, we can jump into a little bit. We play through the campaign. There's a lot of fun things to do in the Crucible, especially as you're leveling up until you get to this about 260, 265 power level situation, which is where there's a bit of a soft cap plateau. So prior to that, I don't think we had any problems leveling up till there. We could just do basically whatever you wanted, and we were just going up and up and up,
cruising.
And then once we hit that 265, we hit that soft cap, and that's where we started to struggle a little bit. So that was a little bit unfortunate, me not realizing that was going to happen, going into the game totally blind. I don't know if Destiny 1 had a soft cap like that too, kind of. But we played that first couple days and then just kind of got stuck there until the reset next week, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Looking at that, and again, trying to remember, how my first run with Destiny 1 went, and up until when everything was reset, like the milestones and everything, before we knew that it was attainable to increase your level, to do certain milestones that was reset.
Yeah.
From what I remember from the first one was that I reached that cap or close to it when it became difficult to level up, and I sort of just started doing the same things over and over again. The repetition was just at its utmost highest, and it became something where it's like, okay, you can only scour a planet so many times before you just start losing your mind. Yeah. And at first I started to have the same feelings with this, plus with the Crucible. yes, it's there. Yes, I enjoy beating people's asses, but
Or getting your ass beat in your case.
that too. But after a while, it's just like it becomes okay. Why am I doing this? Do I need to already make a new character? I mean, is the level progression to the soft cap? Was that too easy? Because it did feel relatively easy to get to that level. I mean, yeah, we've played a lot in the last 2.5 weeks or so, but it hasn't been like an absurd amount of play time. I mean,
Now we've probably put in, I don't know, somewhere from 25, 30 hours, probably.
that's what I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of, and what, probably, and that's total, so I would say around the 20-hour mark
Is when we got capped.
is when we pretty much reached that cap level.
Yeah.
And it's not like frustrating, but it's like the game just came out, and 2 weeks into it, you're already starting to think, okay, do I need to make a new character?
Yeah. No,
And
I had that same
redo
feeling.
everything. And so it's nice, though, that these milestones have reset, so you're able to get past that soft cap in order to get, raid ready.
Yeah.
And
That's one of the things we were talking about, too, is there's probably an activity or two that we're not fully utilizing to bump up gear, especially like trials, because we don't have... Like, the problem is some of these game types, like the raid or doing trials, you need your squad of 4 or 6, depending on which activity you're doing. And half the time, it's you and me and one of our other buddies, shout out to NTR, that it's the 3 of us, and we're always trying... Like, we haven't even played trials because we can't get that 4th person.
right.
So it's a little bit... I mean, I get why it's like that, and they want you to have pre-made teams. It's just a little frustrating because I've never really had that problem. I mean, it's an MMO type game. A lot of people compare it to World of Warcraft, where similar, if you're doing raids in WoW, you're going to have your group of people. You can't just do it with randos necessarily. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm indifferent, I guess. I just wish we had more friends that were playing proactively.
Yeah, and I sort of touched on that a little bit in my review. It's like, again, like you were saying, I understand the notion behind Bungie is wanting to, make sure people are teaming up. They introduced the clan feature that has a lot more power behind it now because you're able to gain XP and everything through that. Mm-hmm. But like you said, it doesn't really help the players like you and I who don't have that many friends who are playing this game.
Yeah.
And so it kind of restricts us to a certain extent where it's like, okay, now we have to... I mean, what's the difference of reaching out to people who may be on our friends list that we honestly really don't even know to try and play with them versus just randomly getting match made?
Yeah,
I mean, in my mind, there's no difference.
That's true.
And so, and that's the thing. It's like, yes, I would like to take part in those things. I mean, just this morning when I was playing, I tried to do some of the strikes, and I didn't know, but luckily it was able to match make me with 2 other people, and I was able to do some strikes.
Yeah.
So that was nice, but yeah,
they have. Partially, it'll be fixed by the whole guided games thing that they're slowly rolling out. That has beta right now for the Nightfall. I think it's just the Nightfall, not for the raid yet. And so, in theory, some of that might get fixed where you'll be able to join, people from another clan that are trying to run people through. And I think they're going to get clan rewards for running people through and teaming up with them. So that'll help our case a little bit because I think, for example, if the 2 of us want it, I'm not really sure. I'm just guesstimating. I think if the 2 of us wanted to run a raid and you need a squad of 6, I think we could probably go into guided games, get matched with 4 other people from a clan that are running people through. So that'll be good. It's just the whole dealing with the potential toxicity of people getting mad if you've never done it before or if they don't play the way. But then again, that's every single fucking online game I've ever played in my life. so it's fine. Maybe that'll fix it a little bit. We'll just have to see. The real point of all that discussion, though, is we need to tell our friends to stop playing freaking the show and get some actual games that we can play with them. That's all I have to say.
bad friends.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by a lot of them.
For real. But I mean, yeah, so that's kind of, as we progress through the game where we got to, knowing what we know now after doing it the first time, getting to where we are, because we're sitting at, what am I? I think I'm 280 some odd now.
I'm 279.
Okay, so I'm just a few power levels ahead of you. And, if I were to make a new character, which I'll probably end up making new characters somewhat soon, Once I finish all the weekly things on my Titan 1 week, I'll probably make a Warlock or something. But now, knowing that I can transfer over guns, that'll help bump your power up really quick after you beat the campaign. And then 2, knowing not to collect those powerful engrams until you've done everything else to get you to 265, that'll help too. Because I think that was the problem our first week around, is we did that like right after things had reset, and then for 4 or 5 days we were just stuck.
But then again, like, and I'm just not thinking about this as you're saying that, is like, so going back to what I just said about how it's taken us roughly 20 hours to get to the first plateau, right?
Yeah.
And that was with us doing those powerful engrams, you know, early on. So let's say you make a new character, and remember when we did the character, we did a lot of the adventures on the side.
Yeah.
And so as for, you know, pretty sure when you went through the campaign on your own, and then when you came back to help me, we were over leveled in terms of the campaign because we do all those adventures and everything, and so the shit was pretty easy then, right?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is if you make a second character, is everything going to be that much more easy to get to? Because basically, for a lot of the guns we've hoarded and the armor and shit, you just have to get to level 20 to use most of them, and then you can just blow people away.
Yeah.
So will it not just be that much easier to get to the 260, 265 level for your second character than it would be for the first character?
Yeah, I mean, it should be a lot easier because you can just transfer over your high power level guns, not the armor, because the armor is class specific. So if I make a new character that's a Warlock and I have a Titan now, I can't transfer over my Titan armor.
Okay, that's true too.
But for the guns, that's half of it. I could transfer that over. So that'll bump you up a pretty decent amount. And then I'm not going to do the adventures and stuff because I've done them all one time. For the most part, I'm just going to get through the campaign. Like, I'm not going to necessarily play the campaign because I want to replay the campaign. It's because I want to have another character that's a high power level, you know, for endgame stuff. So
right.
I don't know. I think it's just pounding through it. And then, I don't know. I would assume you'd come out probably, I don't know what we were. Do you remember what power level we were when we finished campaign, or when we were like level 20?
Roughly 200.
So I would assume if we have higher guns and stuff, you'd come out at 230, 240.
That's and that's why I'm trying to think
so much closer to 265. Just grind public events for an afternoon and then do all your engrams afterwards, you know?
But I'm just trying to think, like, other than just like continuing to play the game as a whole, I'm just trying to think what exactly is the benefit of having another character other than team comp.
Yeah, I mean, team comp or double chance for loot drops every week if you want specific guns or weapons or something. You could have 2 characters where you could get the powerful engrams or do the raid twice in that week, one on each character, and get the gun and then transfer between people. That's about it. You just get double chance at all the weekly stuff essentially.
Yeah.
Or if you really, I mean, I know people did it where they would make 2 of the same class so that they could transfer everything back and forth. But I wouldn't want to play it tight. Like, I just am not interested in that grind. I'd rather just make a different character. So, anyways, I mean, I'm enjoying it so far. You know, overall, maybe the good question is, you mentioned you have your review up. People can find it at coffeescorner.com. What did you rate it out of 10 as your final score? Final score being not having played Trials or the raid yet, but played everything else, I believe, right?
Yeah, I scored an 8.25 out of 10. And again, that's due to, like you just said, I haven't done the raid, I haven't done the Trials of the 9 Crucible.
Yep.
But and I had a little disclaimer saying that the score may change after I've done that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about going back and just deleting that, meaning that it's going to be an 8.25.
Yeah.
That's going to be the final score because, and you and I have talked to great lengths about this. I talked to a guy at my job talking about this on Friday. There's been a lot of criticism over Destin from IGN, his review on Destiny.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't really know what people are expecting from it, seeing as though this game came out and there was a shitload of stuff that was added within just like, the first week or so, the first week and a half. And it's like when the game first came out, the raid wasn't available. Mm-hmm. The raid came available, I think a week later.
A week later, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and so some websites would either not have the review posted, they would post a review with no score, Or in Destin's case, they would post a review and then they would put if we had to score it right now, this is what we gave it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would continually update his score like every, 2 to 3 days or so until he finally settled on a score. What was it again, 8.5?
I think it was 8.5, yeah.
Yeah. And so people were criticizing it because, like I said, the score kept fluctuating up and down. And it's like, well, okay, so what do you want then? Do you want a line drawn for just campaign and simple Crucible play? Or do you want a review that's more toward the entire game features, but then the review's going to take longer to do because not everything's available?
Yeah.
Or do you have little separate reviews? And so it's kind of confusing to me as being both a consumer and as being a person that does their own reviews. Mm-hmm. It's like, what does the public, want then? Because you can't win either way.
Yeah, it's a very difficult game to review, because it's not. I don't know. I mean, I'll compare it, I guess, a little bit here. It's not like probably Mario Odyssey when it comes out, and when that game comes out, you're gonna have or Breath of the Wild for the most part. When the game comes out, you have 95% of the content right there. Maybe there could be expansions or updates or whatever. But this game came out, and I think the first week, I would call the game probably, 60 to 70% like fully released. I mean, some of the biggest things like Trials in the Raid and the end game activities weren't even available yet. So how are you supposed to give a score to a game where something's changing constantly week over week over week, and they're still adding things like, for example, guided games. They're still adding, and it's going to be fully released in a week or two. Like, all these different features are just slowly rolling out rather than it coming out at once. So it's you just got to kind of pick a spot and put your flag down in the sand and be like, here it is at this point in time, this is what it is, and maybe come back in, I don't know, right before the first expansion or something where everything is out there and have your full review for that part of the game, then do it again after the first expansion. It's just going to be really hard to review.
And I mean, another good example is that when you first saw my review, I believe that was the day of or the day before when we learned that the milestones would reset.
Every week, yeah.
Because I put in there saying how it sucks that you can only, once you get to that plateau of 265, 270, the only thing you can do is do the Trials in the 9 and the Raid.
Yeah.
But then literally that day that I did it, they reset the milestone. So I had to go in and add that part of the review in.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, that's where it gets hard to figure out exactly how you're supposed to score this type of game.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's not a bad thing. It's just a hard game to score. But either way, on a scale to 10, I wouldn't call it probably the most amazing work of art video game I've ever played in my life. But it does exactly what I want it to do. Especially as a shooter from Bungie, it makes me want to play it and want to play with my friends, and like the way it works and killing things. Like I'm playing it to have fun in that type of a game, not because it's the most masterful piece of video game ever created.
Right, and I also think that with Bungie, that they're looking more towards like the longevity of the game.
Sure.
Because I mean, Destiny 1 came out in 2014.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure I don't want to say exactly, but probably at least 2 years of content with that game before they finally close things off. And then I fully expect the same thing with this one.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not, because for me, my case is why I stopped playing the first game was the redundancy issue and the fact that, I mean, granted, there was other games that were coming out that naturally divert your attention to.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm hoping that this time around, Bungie either drops content more frequently so it doesn't become stale for long periods of time, because I mean, there's going to be a slew of games coming up within this holiday season and early 2018. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see what they do to try and hold on to their core player base.
Yeah, we'll transition a little bit into this, though, what we're going to be up to next towards the end of the show here. I mean, unless you have any other, it was a perfect transition, but unless you have any other thoughts just on the core piece of the game or anything from your review that you want to highlight, that's about it. I mean, you enjoy the game for the most part. I'm having fun playing it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Like I said, I was playing it today. I'm going through some public events. If you want to read up any more about my review, go to www.coffeescorner.com, and it will be the top one on the games section. So take a look at that.
There you go. The only other shout out I'll have before we move into the end is if you do want to play Trials of the Nine with us, or if you eventually in the next couple weeks want to do a raid, we will put our PSNs. We play on PlayStation. I'll put the PSNs down in the description. Add us, and we can do that then because we need some more friends. Other than that, you were talking about what's coming up the next couple months. So let's transition into that. First of all, for me, I mean, I'm probably going to be playing Destiny 2 pretty exclusively, at least for the next month. I don't really have anything, that I need to backlog on right now. It's super critical. There's some things I could play, but I feel good about getting through The Last of Us and things like that recently. So I'm probably just going to play Destiny. And we'll see, probably maybe getting a Switch, probably. If I can get a deal. So,
Super Mario Odyssey.
So then I'll probably be playing some of that. But, that's the point you're going to say is how long or the longevity of this game, right? So I'll be playing for the next month. I fully expect to probably make another character, be able to play through the raid on both characters by that point in time. And then after that, when all those other games or those new games come out at the end of October, how much am I going to be playing Destiny until the first expansion comes out? So it probably might be one of those games for me over the next year where I play it a lot and then I stop and play some other things, and then the expansion comes out and I play it a lot again and play through all that content or play the new raids, play whatever, and stop again, and then wait another couple months till the spring expansion comes out and play it again. So I'm kind of anticipating that just because I'm not that guy that's going to, until they add a ranked system in PvP, I'm not that person that's just going to want to sit there and just crush heroic public events forever. If there's a PvP ranking system, I'd be super down. If it's something I can queue up for by myself and not have to have a squad of 4, I'd be super down. But that's my plan. What about you? What do you got going on?
I mean, like you said, just playing Destiny 2 for the time being. I'm slowly on the fence right now of what you're saying about wanting getting to the point where you don't want to just sit there and just grind over and over again, you know, through public events and everything. Yeah. And so again, I'm hoping that we can hopefully get through the raids and Trials of the Nine pretty soon here. Other than that, started Until Dawn yesterday with Blanca. She's really into scary movies, things like that. So I thought that would be an interesting game for her to experience. And we did, I think, the first 2 missions, quote unquote, last night. And so she's really liking it. I watched, I haven't played it, but I watched C's stream it. And it was pretty cool to watch him stream it. And so I always wanted to play through it myself. So we're doing that. Today I actually just bought Thimbleweed Park on Switch. I heard good things about that. Ryan McCaffrey at IGN, I think, reviewed it, and he gave it a decent score. Nice. And so it's like an adventure-type game. There was a murder done in this small town, and you play as these 2 federal agents. There's this weird-ass clown, and so you just kind of solve what the mystery is about. Kind of has this X-Files type feel to it. Yeah,
that's cool.
Other than that, like you said, just waiting for the holiday rush to come through. Might pick up Evil Within 2. Obviously, Super Mario Odyssey at the end of October. Yep. I'm interested in wanting to play Wolfenstein 2. I kind of hope that the first one gets put back on PS4. If it's not, I don't know if it is yet. Other than that, just kind of rolling with the flow right now.
Yeah, I hear you. You. Well, I mean, there's a lot of good things coming up, so.
I did, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, I finished Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
That's right. I can't remember, did you do a Zelda review?
No, I haven't done it yet, and hopefully I'll do it this week. If not, I might just, I don't know.
All right, if you had to score it out of 10, most people are giving a game out of the year 10 out of 10 situations. I know that's not necessarily your point of view. If you had to score it out of 10 right now, what would you give it?
8.5 out of 10.
Okay, so in the great, good, similar realm to Destiny, enjoyed yourself but not the best game you've ever played type of thing.
Yeah, it's a good game. Yeah. It's a good video game.
Yep.
Is it a hands down game of the year? No. I do not think so. Because I mean, the list is endless of the things that are wrong with it. I feel like people just love it out of death because it's Zelda.
Yeah.
And it's because it's that property.
And it's the first
just
good
kinda,
Switch game, maybe.
Yeah, and it kind of just blinds people, I think, of, you know, the fact that you have this handheld Zelda game. It's open world. It's just mind-blowing, all the things that you can do. You can climb anything.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I mean, it's a good game. It's decent. What I loved about it, I love the story of it. I love the plot. I love how, you know, Ganon pretty much killed you, basically. He destroyed everything for the most part, and you wake up a century later, and you have to figure things out again. But other than that, it's just, your weapons break constantly. The Master Sword basically breaks. You know, the whole notion of that blood moon, so every, like, I don't know, 30 days or something, the blood moon happens and all the people you killed come back to life. Guess what? I can just go find a bed and sleep through it. I don't have to deal with it then. I mean, and the whole, the temperature thing, you know, it's cool, it's realistic and everything. But, I mean, if I have a review, I'll be more precise about the detail. You know what? I am going to do a review about it.
All right, fair enough.
It's gotten me real fired up.
Yeah,
you know,
I could tell.
because there's games like, again, I mean, right now Persona 5 is my game of the year.
Yep.
I mean, I put in like 130 hours into that.
Yeah, man.
And you know, Horizon, I'd almost have it at least equal level with Zelda.
So
I know a lot of people just throw Zelda already at the top, but Horizon was a very good game.
Yeah, just because I didn't play Persona, Horizon has to be my game of the year as of right now. I haven't played that or Zelda. I've watched you play both of them, but I haven't physically played them, so I can't count that.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, get that review up there then, buddy. Let's hear you complain about the stamina bar and all your things breaking. And
That's right, the stamina bar. Gee, oh my God, the stamina bar. What a fucking joke.
well, what are you gonna do?
And then remember the last mission when it was storming?
Yeah.
We wasted an hour and a half trying to get this damn thunder head thing.
Yeah.
But it was just the weather.
It was just the bad weather for about that 30 minutes when you kept trying over and over again. What a waste of time. Well, all right, so look out for that coming up on coffeescorner.com. I guess that's about it, yeah? You have anything else? Anything else going on? Just playing Destiny, playing those couple Switch games until Mario Odyssey comes out?
No, Blanc and I saw Kingsman 2. It was good.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean,
You said the first one was better.
Yeah, I liked the first one, but it's still a good movie, the second one.
Yeah.
We also saw It a couple of weeks ago when it came out.
Hard pass.
You could take a look at my review of Stephen King's It on coffeescorner.com.
All right, that's enough. All right, come on now.
I loved it. You need to check it out.
Nope.
It was a very good movie.
I'll check out Kingsman 2 though, probably. I like the first one. The first one was really funny, so I'll check out the second one.
Yeah.
I just might wait until it's out of the theater though and watch it on, whatever it comes out on. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, I think that's about it. We got some Destiny to play.
Got some Destiny to play.
That's about it.
Got to see our fantasy teams lose.
Yeah, I gotta check fantasy, so we gotta go. We're wrapping it up. It's real close right now. I gotta check my phone. So I think that's it. Thanks everybody for joining us. Episode 7, Gaming Nonsense. Hopefully you're enjoying Destiny as much as we are. Again, let us know if you play on PSN. Our names will be in the description below. We'd love to play some Trials of the Raid with you. And until then, have fun, everybody.
Playoffs.
Nope, D-backs playoffs. Winners. We will catch you hopefully. We're going to get back into it. That is one point that I want to say. It's been a couple weeks, probably 3 weeks since we uploaded last. We're going to get back into the groove every week, every other week at the absolute worst. There's a lot of things we can talk about. We can start talking about Game of the Year, and we've got some ideas for some future podcasts. So we'll be uploading more frequently again. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Thanks for joining us today, episode 7. We will catch you next time for episode 8. Bye!